What was that?
Comment.
On the stream?
No.
Oh, I just put the stream live.
That was. Dude, I was watching this video, like, Fix It Flat ate through this guy's rim.
Cool. I thought Fix It Flat was a goop, not nothing with teeth.
It ate right through it.
Checkers, 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 checkers. Okay, I think I'm in the front of it.
Hey guys, I really enjoy your show. Well, thank you, Shannon. Be careful, they're aggressive with people that speak out against him. I just said we were getting sued.
What's that from?
Our live video, Shannon Watts says, be careful, they're aggressive with people that speak out against him. I just said we're getting sued.
I'm not speaking out against them, so to speak. I say have your religion, but I will speak out against the weird practices of beating up people and shit. Anyway, I guess I ought to get my shit together. We're back down to 499 subs.
You'll have that.
Oh no! Shut up.
What is that?
That was Elron himself explaining the history of Xenu.
Oh yeah,
it was a good video. He sounded drunker than shit.
Yeah, he seemed like he's fucked up when
picture.
And in most of his
he's got this thing he talks like. I'm Elron.
Like he's eccentric.
Well, he's got his bottom teeth always displayed.
He looks like a bulldog. He's got a very bad underbite.
Yeah, but it's not underbit. If you look, it's not underbit. They're just displayed.
Once he pull his lip
almost
down?
like Bubba Gump, but his teeth are back.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Oh, shit. It's on. Everybody's showing up. What's up, everybody?
I can't wait.
Me either.
Oh, this is going to be a good one, man. I'm pretty excited for Scientology. I think I'm going to join. You know? I don't think there'd be any problem with me joining Scientology. What do you think?
Not a damn problem with it. I think you should. You'd be a good fucking...
Scientologist. I'd be a good operating Thetan.
Yeah, look at you. You're half Thetan as it is.
I got some Theta in me.
Yeah, well, you probably got a lot of it in you.
I got a little Theta in me.
You think... I didn't check this out. Just Scientologists have Thetans? Or everybody, I guess, has them?
I mean, I wonder if Thetan's a broad term or if it's actually made up by...
Hey, man, I'm going under the assumption that Elron knew what he's talking about.
Oh, is that what you're going on?
Yeah.
Bubba Gump. Yes.
Kind of.
So I just signed my billion-year contract.
Did you? You're going to Sea Org?
Sea Org. Sea Org it is.
Bad idea. I guess I ought to post this shit on copy video URL.
Yeah, why don't you do like some sending out of the links and then we'll get
we got all
started.
this. I guess I should take advantage of all this time we put into building up social media.
I would.
Say, hey.
Share the link on the Facebook page. Share the link on the group.
So
share a link on Twitter.
We're live.
Share a link on Reddit. Share a link on
pardon me.
Your favorite podcast outlet.
Gross.
Share a link on, I don't know. Share the fucking link. South Park. Oh, South Park.
Oh, Isaac Hayes, man. That was some crazy shit.
I love their portrayal of Canadians. Yeah.
Ah, come on, guy. I like the portrayal of Saddam Hussein.
Your head is busted in half. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. I can't wait. I think this is going to be a good one. Scientology.
I need to get a screenshot of this shit real quick, or whatever. Hey, wave at the camera. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Now all I got to do is wait for that to show up. Let go of the button, and that'll be our picture for...
I don't see it.
Well, it'll take 30 seconds for it to get here. We held it for a couple seconds, so I'll see it, and I'll let... we're pulling back the curtain today, ladies and gentlemen. This is how it's done.
Yeah?
Yeah. God, I'm fucking ugly looking. What's that about?
Oh, this is true.
What is that about?
That's the first smart thing you said all day.
There it is. Hey, you had a middle finger up.
No, I sure don't.
You did. I seen it.
It's funny because right when I get to you guys, you're talking about sending out notifications, and why didn't I get one yet? Oh, I didn't know Anonymous went head on with Scientology. Rennie Lopez says that Anonymous and Scientology went head on.
Did they?
Apparently.
Break it down for us real quick, Rennie. We'll throw it on the show. Shit.
Yeah, no shit. Agreed.
What?
I don't know.
I'm a fathead?
You're a liar and a fat mouth.
I got to share this to the group.
Look, jam that like button.
I hate that. Hey, make sure
When
you
are we going to
like,
get our
comment,
golden
subscribe.
bell?
Our what?
Our golden button.
Our golden play button?
Yeah.
Never. At this rate, 1,000 years.
What do you got to do to get a golden play button?
I think 500,000 subs or 100,000 subs. Either way. Either way.
Dan
Jesus
TDM's
Christ.
got one.
He's got a ruby play button, doesn't he? No, that's what's his name?
Oh, Roman
PewDiePie.
Atwood.
No, PewDiePie.
I don't know what PewDiePie is.
He's the big one. He's got over 50 million subs. He's got
50
like
million
54
subscribers?
Subs. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're never going to get 1 million subscribers. We just reached 500, and then somebody already quit us, and we're at $4.99 again.
Yeah. Well, you know, at least we have fun, huh?
I mean, I guess. What's poo tubing?
We're on PooTube. It's a nickname.
Oh, is that right? I guess I should probably turn this TV off behind me, eh?
Why? Can you see it?
I mean, in my screen I can.
It's kind of like on Spaceballs. We're at now.
Yeah.
What happened to then? We missed it.
How do we go back? You can't.
Yeah, we passed it. Give it a couple more minutes and we'll start the show.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my camera figured out right here real quick.
PewDiePie got kicked from YouTube. I want to check that out. That'd be cool. I guess that means we're up a step then.
One up for us, yes.
That's right. Taking them down one at a time. Let's see, channels.
What the fuck does PewDiePie even YouTube about?
I don't know. He's like, I'm man, I'm getting dumb. Yeah, I don't see him on here.
Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, ho, go do the Mario.
Oh, wait a minute. No, he's on there still. 55 million subs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, good for him, man.
That is one hell of a subscriber base.
Yep. Hey, JB.
Lol.
Couple more mimics.
I would say like maybe 2 more minutes and we're ready.
Make it 4 then. Not really.
As a matter of fact, I do.
God damn it, I wish I would have watched more about that.
Yeah,
Man, we could have did 2 weeks worth of research on this and not been ready.
Got my billion-year contract. That's all the research I needed to know. You got to sign a billion-year contract. That's it. That's all you need.
Fair enough.
Hey, what do you know about Scientology? I know you got to sign a billion-year contract.
That's only if you're getting in the Sea Org. It's fucking hot in here today, ain't it? Is it just me?
No, it's hot.
I should probably do a clap test, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Do you want me to clap?
Might as well.
Well. Yo, Core 4 in the stream. That's right. All right, then let's do it. I'm ready.
She says hurry up so she can take her nap.
Oh, that means she can't nap until after our show's over because
Or we
we're
make her
that
tired.
important.
No, we make her tired. And
She has to take it. Oh, no, it's
We're like
like,
her sleeping pill.
I need to get, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Damn it.
that's the running joke around here about Jim's youth baseball talk show. People use it to go to sleep too. So his downloads are high.
Really?
It's not really true. It is a pretty good show. I listen to it a lot. I'm not into youth baseball.
All right, let's do this. Scientology. Scientology. Scientology.
Scion, like a car.
No, like, I must have the access codes to Zion.
Yeah,
Agent Smith.
I heard of him.
Lord Elrond.
Yeah.
Is his
Ronald
real name?
Hubbard.
Ronald Hubbard. What's his real name?
Who?
The guy that played Agent Smith.
Fucking, what's his name? I don't know. I remember that right now. Might as well look it up.
Live giggle, what are you going to do? No, you put her to sleep. I don't believe that.
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving, that's exactly right. All right, let's do it.
All right, hold on. Let me get the music cued.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
You know what you're doing?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to bite this pop filter right off the mic.
That's gross.
Okay, it didn't happen.
Other people got to put their mouths on these mics. Check, check.
Well, it's on there pretty
You're
good. So.
listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
Something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here, and I don't believe it.
Honestly, this crazy shit could be completely possible.
Disclaimer, we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. You think you know the whole story? Think again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
Welcome to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal, a lineupmedia.fm production. And we are back this week with something that we don't do very often. I guess the very beginning of our sub-name.
It's our second. Yeah, it's our second ever cult show.
What was
you
our
can look at
first?
it that way. We did Charles Manson, remember?
Yeah, I mean,
That's really more of a cult.
that was a pretty big cult, yeah. But yeah,
What, you think the Scientology's not bigger?
maybe not as popular, maybe not as well known.
That's
but
popular? Give me a break. People know Charlie Manson's name, but they don't know that he really had a cult. Most people,
Yeah, they don't know a whole lot about
you know, the family, but everybody knows. If you've ever heard of Tom Cruise or John Travolta, that they're in the crazy voodoo cult of Scientology.
it. There's really no voodoo, though. I mean,
Most people don't know what's going on.
right.
Well, you got our accounts from places like South Park and other, fine media establishments telling you about what's going on
There's a lot of propaganda
on both sides. Really.
on both sides of this.
I guess-
I think we should just get right into it then. Scientology was, created by L. Ron Hubbard in 1954, but there was a
Scientology, the
precursor.
religion?
Yeah, that's when he started the religion. But as a precursor to Scientology, which everyone's probably familiar with, he wrote a book called Dianetics, which was a self-help book.
Sort of. It basically teaches you you can master your life by getting right in your head. Just get right psychologically, and everything else will follow. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. I'm not right in the head, so.
Well, if you could figure out any problem in your life through and fix any problem in your body through concentration and other such weird things. That's basically the thought behind it. He thought so much of it though that before he turned it into a religion, he took it to like the American Medical Association or whatever and says, "Hey, check out my book Dianetics. This could be an alternative to psychology, psychiatry."
And they actually looked into it for a while.
Well, yeah, but they were like, "What the fuck is this?" You
Well,
know?
after they looked into it, yeah.
Yeah. And that pissed him off something fierce. So at that point, psychology was an enemy. The government more or less was an enemy.
Psychiatrist, everything.
Yeah,
all
I
of it.
mean, that's the deep-rooted hate he had for psychologists.
Yeah, so, L. Ron Hubbard, he grew up in Montana. He was from an early age, he was a very well-read
Yeah, you
child.
pick up all kinds of just books and just read book.
Yeah, he was very curious from what they say. His father was in the Navy, which he was in the Navy as well, right?
Right.
That's
For
what
a time, that's a whole other thing, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he traveled around a lot in his teens due to his dad being in the Navy. He visited a lot of places in America, which I found to be, that part of information, okay.
Propaganda.
I got to preface that I got some of my good Elron information from some nice Scientology propaganda videos.
Yeah, and so they make it seem like this guy's like, a lot cooler than he is.
Oh, man, he's way cool. I believe it now. So the YouTube channel I found this video on was called Battlefield Earth, which should have been a fucking sign. 'Cause that's a famous Scientology movie starring John Travolta. But I get to start watching this video, and it's the most well put together little piece on Elron going into
it
his
had nice
childhood.
production, fucking value, and everything. Very well edited.
Giving out a lot of information about he was in the Boy Scouts at age 12. He presented some shit about Boy Scouting to Calvin Coolidge when he was young.
Oh, he met the president.
Yeah, he was highly decorated. He had over 20 merit badges. and he was the youngest Eagle Scout in the history of Boy Scouts in America.
Okay, so let me stop you right there. If anybody's ever read anything about North Korean propaganda, you know that Kim Jong-un has...
Well, he shot a 37.
Yeah, he had 11 holes in ones in an 8. So the propaganda is crazy with this guy. So they're saying, you know, of course he youngest Eagle Scout in American history. You know, they say that Kim Jong-un never took a shit. So.
That's like whenever the wrestlers are like, he's the youngest WWF champion in history. I mean, you're still just, you know.
It's like 40 years.
Yeah, I mean... apparently he was introduced to psychoanalysis at a young age. I don't know how. That's just what the video was saying. His propaganda video. I wonder who's doing that now. I wonder who's in charge of that.
Doing what?
The production of all the propaganda that's obviously not Scientology. Do you think there's actually people out there making these propaganda videos that are not?
I bet Scientology has their department.
I realize that, but that wasn't the Scientology YouTube channel. I wonder if there's actually a guy out there who's a devout Scientologist and figured, fuck it, I'm going to cut me a fat-ass Elron, tape and put it up on YouTube. You think there's people out there like that are so into it that aren't, like, officially with the church making shit?
You mean are there religious zealots out there that are willing to... totally.
This guy's so good, I wonder why he wouldn't be working for the church themselves. Because that video, like I said, was well-produced. Anyway, moving on in that, he had visited Asia, apparently at age 16. And in the video, I found it kind of weird. They said he trekked over 250,000 miles, going from like southern India to the Korea, trekking across Southeast Asia.
I mean, logistically,
250,000 miles.
How long would that take?
He was there a couple years, but 250,000 miles walked. That's walking to the moon, sir. Past the moon.
That's tough.
That was just a high.
You're gonna get calluses on your feet.
If they could have said 10,000 miles, and I could have seen that crisscrossing back and forth across. Just another one of the weird things that Scientology, the weird numbers they use. When we get to the talk about Xenu and the Galactic Confederacy, there's some weird timelines there as well.
So I'm trying to follow our doc that we've got here, and so where we're at now is
he eventually the George Washington University. He was a student there. He was an engineering student. And he also studied nuclear physics.
Oh, what you're trying to tell me was smart?
Well, that's what they're trying to tell us.
Exactly.
So he used his nuclear physics education to find his posited. You know what that is, right? A posit.
Yeah.
Okay. Life force, the thetans. He figured this out using physics.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they say.
So that's why it's Scientology, because he's supposedly used science.
You're not going to guess your way into Scientology, man.
So according to physics, he found out that you have a spirit inside of you.
Many
spirits inside of you, and they're called thetans, huh?
Thetans, yes. We'll get to that whenever we start talking about level 3 operating thetans in the bridge.
Well, why don't we talk about how the Church of Scientology is worth over $1.2 billion?
Well, we'll get there. I also want to say the guy was an explorer. We talked about how he went through Southeast Asia. He also organized treks into the Caribbean to meet all kinds of indigenous people, apparently, which was one of the reasons he was able to be taken into the Navy and given a lieutenant commander position without having to go through the normal rigmarole and given a command. Actually, he had 3 commands, but he fucked them up so bad, always shooting at the wrong thing. One time he attacked this island, fucked it up real bad, and that's whenever they kicked him out.
Okay, so let me stop you there. The guy that started Scientology and wrote Dianetics, Ronald Hubbard, is a science fiction writer.
So that's one of his many things. He's like Jamie Hyneman from Mythbusters. He's did it all.
Well, you love the guy? You sound excited.
I'm not excited, but think about it. Whenever you read about this guy, he's like, I'm going to try a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to be an explorer. I'm going to be fucking...
a science fiction writer? So he wrote over 275 books and pamphlets before his death?
Shortly after his entire life, he did over 1,000.
Well, this was shortly before
shortly after the Depression, whenever he got going into pulp fiction novels, and that's how he was making money. He wrote about 300 little novels, from science fiction, which we talked about, but a lot of them were based on his adventures in the Caribbean and Asia, where he'd write adventure novels.
Well, right. So I heard from a couple different sources that he has actually wrote more science fiction work than most anybody in history.
He's the most prolific writer of all time.
So there you go.
Right there. I mean, he's had more published works than anyone.
So here. So this guy is definitely a science fiction writer. So all the stuff that he writes is science fiction. But
you can find pieces of Dianetics and the story of Xenu and all that stuff in his original science fiction writings. Well, there's shit he used from that in the official religion.
So that's what I'm getting at. So how can you take Scientology as a real I mean, how can you take it
We don't.
seriously at all?
You need to ask that question to a Scientologist.
Right. So how can you take it seriously at
Because
all
they
when the
don't know.
founder is actually a science fiction writer and he actually took stuff from his science fiction works and incorporated them into his new religion?
So that's the thing about Scientology. You're indoctrinated to not believe any of that shit. It's all propaganda and false. Don't even bother looking for it. The information you need about Scientology, you'll get from Scientology.
Yeah, you'll get from the
But
Scientologists.
not for free. That's the thing about Scientology.
Yeah.
The big fucking scam, so to speak, is that every time you want to get a little bit higher in Scientology and become a little more
It costs
enlightened-
money to advance through the ranks.
Exactly right.
Some would say up to $100,000 to reach level of operating Phaeton 3. That's
So,
what they've been quoted as.
Let's talk about real quick how he came up with the idea of Dianetics. There's two different stories going around.
They cure you much better than Kushlog.
Krishna,
Yeah.
that's like Hare Krishna, another cult.
Yeah, well, they cure you much better indeed.
It's a Tenacious D song there. He's
Yeah,
just
for anyone
quoting.
that didn't get that.
So originally the story was he had in World War II had got blinded and his back broken, and he's laid up in the hospital for months, and the doctors tell him you're never going to walk again. You're not going to be able to see again. So through sheer force of will and mind
Let
power,
me stop right there again. I don't believe any of this.
this is the propaganda.
Okay, I'm just saying. Is there medical records? Did somebody see this guy in the hospital?
Yes, the medical records exist. None of it happened.
None of it happened.
Not even a little. He had some hip pain. Other than that, he was fine.
Wow.
But any which way, he's sitting there, and through sheer force of will and thought process, he devises Dianetics in the way to take over your mind over matter, more or less, and heal himself.
He healed himself.
That's the story.
That's Vader-esque.
Kind of.
You know, I mean, 'cause-
Darth Vader-esque.
yeah, that's Vader-esque right there.
Kafkaesque.
Wow. But I think something that you didn't mention was
hold
that
on.
he was
See,
very...
that's the thing, though. You're talking about, can you prove it? Can you look at the records? People did go look at the records. So this propaganda video I watched today about L. Ron Hubbard was great. They revisioned his history of that shit like a mug.
Really?
So the original story, like I said, is he was laid up. That's gone from the history from what I'm seeing now. It's that he worked in a hospital that had lots of hurt vets that had, back injuries and lots of other injuries, and using his experience with them and, again, his keen mind,
Oh, my
he
gosh.
devises a
He
way.
made it about...
And he heals all these people through Dianetics, and that's the propaganda. So...
Holy shit. Well, here's some non-propaganda. The guy was an abusive asshole, and he beat his second wife, Sarah Northrup. He strangled her, ran her over with his
He's
car.
13 years older than her, from what I understand, too. But
He even
neither-
kidnapped his daughter named Alexis and called his wife and told her that he
was
had
in
murdered
Cuba.
her. And
Yeah, he took her down to Cuba.
He told his wife that he had murdered his daughter, their daughter, and cut her up into pieces.
And threw her in a river.
This was all just like mind game bullshit.
Well, he
that
calls her
was
back
doing.
later and says, no, I didn't really do it.
What a fucker.
I wonder if she's still alive, that daughter.
I don't know, but that's just what an asshole, man.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Well, moving on from there.
They're actually being investigated for
Who?
human trafficking.
Scientology?
Yeah,
Who are they trafficking?
humans.
Well, no shit.
It says-
Which humans?
The FBI opened the investigation
Xenu was in the Thetan trafficking.
in 2009, I think, and it's still going on today. They're still investigating them for trafficking. I guess they don't have enough proof. Apparently, Scientology is pretty persuasive, I would say.
Well, okay, let's get into what some of the weird shit Scientology is.
All right.
So auditing. Auditing is a process they use to help you fix yourself. So they've got this thing called an e-meter. Imagine two small, like, say, tomato paste cans. Roughly that size, right? A little bit bigger. Not as big as a full can,
Yeah, it's not a can of soda big. It's not a can of soda big.
Well, it's a little bit smaller than a can of soda. Clear can, that's a bottle.
Same thing. Just
Any which way. You hold it, and they're both electrified. And they go to a little meter, a little
got wires
needle
coming
meter,
off
like
the
you see in
bottom.
the movies. It's got a little ping, ping, back and forth meter. That basically,
It's actually called an electrometer or something. I had it wrote down here. Hang on.
it's apparently one third of a lie detector test.
1/3, huh?
But yeah, it doesn't care about your heartbeat, and it doesn't care about your breathing or anything like that. What it cares about is the way your brain reacts to questions. So it's supposedly how this works is it sends a charge through your body, like through one of those cans you hold, and it goes through your brain. And as you think of something, that changes the resistance of this electricity going through your body, and the other can picks it up. So that needle reacts to that change in resistance due to what you're thinking. So they ask you all these questions. They'll ask you, what's the biggest problem in your life right now? What's a problem you have? Explain that to me.
My podcast only has 500 subscribers.
And why do you think that is?
We're really not that good.
Why do you think that is?
I don't think most people understand what we're trying to do here, honestly.
And why do you think that is?
We probably don't explain it well enough.
And why do you think that is? And that's what they'll do. They want to boil your problems all the way down to the base cause. And at that point, what the thing is here, you're exercising the demons, the thetans that are in your body, these hundreds of thousands of little energy beings are the cause of all your problems. So when you're getting this reading, your audit, you're basically trapping these thetans and using your mind to expel them from your body. And all your problems are caused by these thetans that are in your body.
Wow.
And they'll do this for hours and hours, 5 hours, 6 hours a week.
Yeah. From what I understand, that these sessions are no joke. They're not like a 10, 15-minute sit-down. These
and a lot
can
of
be like an
Scientologists
endurance trial.
They get excited when it's time for more or less confessional is what these are.
You have to pay for these sessions to be audited. You have to pay for these.
Yeah, I know. It could be hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. And they keep logs of everything you talk about, too. Mm-hmm. So at one point in time, John Travolta, most well-known, prominent Scientologist, was doing his auditing, and they were going to record his auditing. Like they record everybody else on video. They record the person doing it, and they record the room. Mm-hmm. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm fucking John Travolta. Oh, God, I killed that John Travolta tonight.
No good.
I'm John Travolta. I'm not doing it. It's not right.
Nope.
No, that's more like Christopher Walken.
Yep.
Any which way. So they did it anyway.
They recorded him anyways?
Long story short. And eventually they started to use that shit as like blackmail. So whenever you started seeing Weekly World News or all that, John Travolta's gay lover, there was Scientology supposedly leaking out all these little things. And he stopped, any waves he was having at that point in time because they got all this info on me. That's the story I've heard. So these little audits are designed, one, to make you, get more into Scientology and make yourself a better person and identify your problems. Two, to give them ammo. Think about it. You've just given them all the ammo, all your dirtiest secrets, your problems, anything that is just...
To the guy that sits down for this auditing session, he's thinking that this is going to help him out. It's going to clear his brain. It's going to help him spiritually, personally, financially,
and the person
emotionally.
running and the auditor doing it is basically thinks the same thing. I'm going to help you out.
But
in the long run...
there's ulterior motives to this. Like
right, there was a whole room of people whenever John Travolta did that. They brought in boxes and boxes of files that they were just going through this shit, rifling through it, apparently looking for the little nuggets.
Man. So there's so many different crazy things about Scientology that it's hard to even know where to start at. Did you know that they believe that humans evolved from clams?
I did not know that.
This is very true. Yes, clams.
What kind of clam?
That's right. I assume the ones, like clams.
A lot of different
with a
clams,
shell.
Man.
Yeah, what pearl?
Those are
oyster. That's right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Not WikiLeaks, that's terrible. Wikipedia actually banned the Church of Scientology from editing its articles due to manipulation of the site because they're always trying. If somebody edits the wiki article into a light that they don't,
David Miscavige does have a large penis. It's relevant to this page.
Wow.
That's what they do. That's what I heard.
Okay.
Miscavige, of course, is the current leader of Scientology, but we'll get to his.
Yeah, after Ronald Hubbard died, January 24th, 1986, David Miscavige took over for him as the leader. And from what everyone said, there was no doubt in anyone's mind that he was going to be.
Yeah, he was very.
He was groomed from a young age to take this position.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He'd been in the Sea Org and been around L. Ron for a long time. He did video production with L. Ron.
He was a Scientologist since
I think he was
age
16 years old when he first got in. He was with L. Ron 9. Well,
when he first got in. When he got the Sea Org, he was 16, but when he first got into Scientology, he was 9 years old. His dad is the one that got him into it.
Right, and apparently he goes right to work basically shooting propaganda videos for L. Ron himself. So
the Sea Org is like a division of Scientology.
It's their clergy. It's the church, basically, of Scientology. The church inside the church, that's the clergy. So if you're Christian, you go to church.
Yeah.
The priest stays there. That's the Sea Org.
Right, so like the nuns and stuff.
Like Tom Cruise is just a member of Scientology, but the Sea Org is the priest who stays back, and the
altar
monks.
boy,
They're the
monks.
They get paid. They get only paid like 40 cents an hour too.
$50 a week is what they make.
Yeah, depending on what, but
so
it's basically slave trade.
So to be in the Sea Org, you have to sign a $1 billion year contract because
you can sign that underage too.
Yeah, Scientologists actually believe that.
Yeah, they're not getting you just this life.
Exactly. Yeah,
your eternal soul for the next billion years. Your Thetan self belongs for 1 billion years.
Yeah. So this life, the next 100 million lives, you're going to be a Scientologist because you've signed this contract. They actually pressure their members to abort babies. They don't like that. You're not allowed to be sick. You're not allowed to have time off as a Sea Org member. You're not allowed to have health insurance. You're not allowed. There's all kinds of shit that they keep you from. Like this is a real I mean, you know how nuns, they don't have like all the same freedoms that everyone else has.
Yeah,
If you're a
they're
nun, you're
monks.
very Christian.
Or,
Exactly.
Yeah, well, like
So
monk or a nun. You've given up your regular life
Exactly.
to serve your religion.
Same thing with the Sea Org. Basically, you've given up
Not
any...
all of them, though. Because eventually people like, what was his name?
Miscavige, he's not...
Miscavige. Or once you get up to a higher level, you don't have to live in the Scientology quarters anymore. You get to become... You get to have a house. You can eventually get married.
So, on that, how do they have quarters? How do they have churches? How do they have compounds and buildings?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they have a tax-exempt status.
Now they do, yeah.
Now they... Well, wait a minute.
It's got a sordid history.
Yeah, because I believe it was in 57 they gained their tax-exempt status. The Church of Scientology. He started in 56. You don't have to believe me. That's fine. You
I'll
can
check
look
it
that
out,
up.
man. I ain't trying to get my information from you. I'll look it up myself.
Right. I'm information dissemination, man. Come on.
Well, I'm not.
But anyway, so in
Your information insemination, but whatever.
Oh, is that right? You're artificial insemination.
Get over it.
Anyway, so he started Scientology in 1956. In 1957, they actually got their tax-exempt status. But 10 years later, they was revoked. They were removed. It does not say. It does not say.
I challenge you, sir, to find out why. It
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
matter. It's probably because they were like, "These guys are fucking crazy." And
Yeah.
we're taking it back.
I mean, either
It's
way.
Vietnam now. Let's get over it.
Oh, here, interesting fact. Charlie Manson, we just talked about him earlier. He ran a cult, Scientology being a cult. Charles Manson took 150 hours of Scientology classes.
Did he?
Yeah, but
We
he
talked
quit.
about that a little
He
bit
quit
in the-
later on, deeming the religion to be, and get this, too crazy for
Too
him.
crazy for Chuck.
Too crazy for Charles.
That's my favorite
Hanson.
Scientology fact.
Yeah. According to Scientology, it has over 10 million members, active members, but most people think the number's closer to like 500 million or 500,000. So.
Well, if you look at the fact that one of the things they do to hide their money is buy real estate. They buy tons of buildings around the world and set them up as, like regional headquarters and whatnot. But you go to these buildings and they're devoid of any workers. They're completely furnished. Offices are set up and nobody's working them there. They're just there basically to hold as like an asset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a church asset now.
Yeah.
It's a bank.
So,
More or less a way to save their money.
yeah. So here I'm gonna run through the entire shadowy story behind Scientology's tax-exempt status. Are you ready for this?
With all the lawsuits and everything, is that what you're doing?
No. So on October 8th, 1993, 10,000 cheering Scientologists thronged the Los Angeles sports arena to celebrate the most important milestone in the church's recent history.
The end of the war.
Victory in its all-out war against the Internal Revenue Service. For 25 years, IRS agents had
Where are
branded...
you reading this from?
The New York Times.
This
This
is
is
not
directly
you.
from the New York Times.
Yeah, why don't you source that, you bitch?
It was printed out in the New York Times on 9 March 1997. Shut the fuck up, Everett. For 25 years, IR agents had branded Scientology a
IRA
commercial.
agents?
I said IRS.
Slow down.
Had branded Scientology a commercial enterprise and refused to give it the tax-exempt granted to churches. The refusals have been upheld in every court, but that night the Kraut learned of an astonishing turnaround.
The Kraut?
The Kraut. The IRS had granted tax exemptions to
anti-German.
every Scientology entity in the United States. The war is over, David Miscavige, the church's leader, declared to the tumultuous applause. The landmark reversal shocked tax experts and saved the church tens of millions in dollars in taxes.
Do you know why?
No, why what?
Why they gave up then? I'm sure you're getting ready to talk about that, right?
That's
Why did they give up? Tell me.
I'm getting there. So it saved them tens of millions of dollars. More significantly, the decision was an invaluable public relations tool in Scientology's worldwide campaign for acceptance as a mainstream religion. So they really needed to be a religion, but without this tax-exempt status, they're never, ever going to be considered one. Even Chile and France. Okay, so France deemed...
It's more than that. Without their tax-exempt status, they're out of business.
Right.
They owe $1 billion to the IRS at that point.
So Chile and France have both deemed them a cult. And I believe there's another one in Amsterdam that... No,
There's a reason behind all that, too. Did you know back in the day, whenever they were building their original big Scientology ship, like off the coast of the Canary Islands, they built Ronald Hubbard's first boat and, rebuilt it. He used the Sea Org, basically slave labor, to reshape it all up. Any which way, they would go through the Mediterranean, docking at ports and doing their thing. Eventually, they got to the point where a lot of these ports would be like, no, just get out of here. We don't want you coming to our port.
Right.
So that's whenever they eventually kick him out of the Mediterranean, more or less, he sneaks his way back into the U.S. and lives in hiding for the rest of his life. Did you know that?
No.
Lived in hiding until he died.
In hiding?
Because he owed all that money to the IRS, man. He was a persona non grata.
Oh, okay. Right on. Okay, so on the basis of the IRS ruling, the State Department formally criticized Germany for discriminating against Scientologists. The German government regards the organization as a business, not a tax-exempt religion, the very position maintained for 25 years by the United States government. The full story of the turnabout by the IRS has remained hidden behind taxpayer privacy laws for nearly 4 years. But an examination by the New York Times found that the exemption followed a series of unusual internal IRS actions that came after an extraordinary campaign orchestrated by Scientology against the agency and people who work there. So what he's saying is, these fuckers got all these people from the IRS's personal information, much like they do in an auditing session, and they blackmailed them.
It's more than that. Here's what they did. They blackmailed them by suing them. They sued the IRS, and they sued hundreds of IRS people, basically with hundreds of lawsuits, making gigantic litigation. So the amount of time and money it would have took to get rid of this.
I got it right here, exactly what you're saying. So it says, Scientology's lawyers hired private investigators to dig up the private lives of IRS officials to conduct surveillance operations and uncover potential vulnerabilities. According to interviews and documents, one investigator said that he had interviewed tenants in a building owned by 3 IRS officials looking for housing code violations. He also had taken the documents from the IRS conference and sent them to the church officials and created a phony news bureau in Washington to gather information on church critics.
Oh, man, they put out all kinds of, like, magazines and shit like that,
Yeah.
shitting on the IRS.
They're a huge propaganda, like a machine, a propaganda machine. You know, they will put out whatever they want you to think, you know what I mean?
Eventually it comes to a meeting between David Miscavige and the leader of the IRS.
Fred T. Goldberg Jr. was that guy's name.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the decision to negotiate with the church came after Fred T. Goldberg Jr., the commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service at the time, had an unusual meeting with Miscavige in 1991. So this is like unheard of type of meeting deal. So it says Scientology's own version of what occurred offers a remarkable account of how the church leader walked into an IRS headquarters without an appointment and got in to see the head of the IRS, Goldberg, the nation's top tax official. Miscavige offered to call a halt to Scientology's suits against the IRS in exchange for tax exemptions. So basically, they came to a deal.
Yeah,
Look,
did you hear
IRS.
how that went? After the meeting, Miscavige walks away, and the head of the IRS is left there with another one of the top Scientology guys. And he says to the guy, "Was he serious about that?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." You know, then to go away. He's like, "Done." Basically, they're like, "Easy. This is easy. All we got to do is give them religious status, and they'll stop poking into all of our, you know, like." There was a story about how they had this big party or big thing down in like Florida or whatever. Long story short, they're staying at a hotel. They send down private investigators to basically find out what people are drinking. Through Freedom of Information Act, they pull the IRS receipts, right, and find out that taxpayers are paying for drinks and shit, or they were paying for drinks basically for all these agents down there at the hotel.
Really?
So that's the type of campaign they're doing, and he wanted all that to go away.
Oh, it's smear for sure.
So he's like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, no problem." So as soon as that deal was done, that's whenever the war was over. Did you see the video or any video from the party that you talked about a minute ago?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where
Yeah.
they're like, "The war is over.
I know, man.
We won."
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, it's crazy because that, like, they considered the tax exempt status, like, and their quest to gain that a war. I mean, that was their war. You know what I mean? So, and it continues on and said Goldberg, which was the head of the IRS, who left as IRS commissioner in January 92 to become an assistant secretary at the Treasury Department, said privacy laws prohibited him from discussing Scientology or his impromptu meeting with Miscavige. So he's never really given a whole lot of details about it because,
Given,
yeah,
not Gavin.
I understand that. Are you going to just correct me all day, or are you
Yeah,
going to let me
that's
go?
what I do.
Okay, so.
I love it.
The meeting was not listed on Goldberg's appointment calendar, which was obtained by the New York Times through the Freedom of Information Act. The IRS reversal on Scientology was nearly as unprecedented as the long and bitter war between the organizations. Over the years, the IRS had steadfastly refused exemptions to most Scientology entities.
Let's turn your mic a little.
And its agents had targeted the church for numerous investigations and audits. Throughout the battle, the agency's view was supported by the courts. Indeed, just a year before the agency reversal, the U.S. courts claimed that they had upheld the IRS denial of an exemption to Scientology's Church of Spiritual Technology. That's just one of their entities that they have, the Church of Spiritual Technology.
I think that's the main headquarters is what they call the spiritual technology. That's where Miscavige is at.
It had been created to safeguard the writings and lectures of L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, they got a lot of weird little names for like their prison. So their prison's pretty nuts too. If you basically speak out against them, or you've lost faith in in Scientology and you need reindoctrination, they send you off to this place to be reindoctrinated. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah,
It's a prison. It's a
it's
voluntary
a concentration
prison.
camp by people that have seen it. That's what they say that it reminds them of.
You could be anything from locked in a room to be forced to clean floors on your hands and knees with a toothbrush. I mean,
I'd tell them
you
go fuck
you pay
themselves.
penance. People did that too. So there's this lady who was John Travolta's, basically his, his assistant. Her name's Spanky something or other. It was in one of these shows I watched. And one time or another, she did something pissed him off, and she got sent off to Scientology prison. At the time, she had a baby. They took this baby away and put her in the candidate school or whatever, basically, for what they do to children.
Right.
Any which way. She gets pregnant again while she's in prison, and she decides she's going to escape. So she goes down, basically takes her baby that has been more or less abused. Its eyes are basically like crusted shut from not being able to.
It's not being taken care of.
And she escapes. But there's stories all over the internet, and if you watch that Leah Remini documentary, did you watch that at all?
I did.
It was pretty good. It's like 8 episodes long. It was
Yeah.
on A&E. There's a lot of tales of people escaping out of Scientology and having to escape, and them trying to bring you back. And if you let them, they will bring you back.
They'll
But that's
come
pretty
and
much
kidnap you.
Yeah, but it's almost seems voluntary. Like, as soon as you're like serious about, hey, you can't fucking take me, they won't do it. That's what I understand anyway. Maybe there's more that I don't know about. If you're somebody important, maybe that's the way it works. But
Man, I just think so. Hubbard came up with the attack the attacker defense, and that's why he
fair game.
Yeah, well, that's why all the stuff with the IRS and anybody that's actually critical of them, they sue because that's like
Well,
that's
not
their
only that,
thing.
Fair game itself is once you do that, when somebody's declared fair game, you can use any tactics against them. It doesn't matter if it's illegal, if it's immoral. Ethics are not to be considered whenever
Right.
you're going against an enemy. What do they call them? A suppressive person.
oppressor.
Well, no, that's a specific term they have. It's a suppressive person. Once you're labeled as a suppressive person and you get fair game declared on you, it's basically you're a complete enemy of the church, and they will do anything to put you down.
Anything they can, legal or not.
Exactly right. They'll go and protest outside your house. They'll go to your work and cause problems. They'll make you lose your job. You know what I mean? They'll go to your kids' school and fuck with you.
Man, dude, yeah, it doesn't even seem like it's a.
Watch that movie or that show with Leah Remini and how they get followed around. Her and Mike Rinder. Mike Rinder was a former bigwig in Scientology.
yeah.
So when they'd have all the big events, you'd have David Miscavige come out and say his little song and dance, and then what's his name, Mike Rinder would come out and do his little talk too. But that guy was more or less leader of the secret Nazi security force of Scientology. He was the one who would figure out how to do these smear campaigns. Who would find the dirt and tell people and do the press and lie right to the press and things like that. And he escaped, though. He came out of it. He was on that Leah Remini special talking about all the weird shit he had to do, all the lying, all the underhanded stuff. And at the time, how he believed everything he was doing was perfectly fine. And, the lies he was telling, he pretty much would believe.
Man, it's. I don't know how people can buy into this one.
Well, a lot of them come in from a young age. And there's also, when you look at the spiel they give you, that Scientology is A, to make you right in your own head, and B, to better the world. That is their mission. They're going to better the universe. They're going to better the world.
And better you.
Make everything great. So, and who was it? John Travolta I saw saying, what other religion or anything else like that or piece of technology offers you the chance to not only better yourself, but better the world? And in the 50s and whatnot, when people were looking for, something to join, a purpose.
That's like the common thing for religious people. They look for something to hang on to and that they need to. And I'm not downing on anyone or anything, but this Scientology is
that's
so
the way
propaganda.
That's the way all cults prey on people who need to belong, who need to have a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Religion's similar. I mean, you got to have a sense of wondering where you came from, a sense of where, or a thought of where you're going.
Okay, so did we touch on what exactly they say the origins of this are 75 million years ago with the?
So no, we didn't yet.
So let's hit that. So let's hit that because that right there is kind of like you think they're crazy? Listen to this shit.
We'll give you the long story short here, and you can listen to L. Ron Hubbard himself give the full story of Xenu and the Galactic Confederacy on YouTube.
Yeah.
But long story short, 75 million years ago on the planet Cultus, there was a democratically elected ruler named Xenu. So eventually they get, and let's give a little more backstory on this Cultus. This planet basically looked just like 1955, 1960 America. Same type of dress, same type of cars.
75 million years ago?
On another planet. Long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Cultus!
Huh.
Wow, that's kind of interesting if you think about it. I wonder if what's his name, George Lucas, looked into Scientology at all as the beginning a long time
He's
ago.
like, my allegiance is to Xenu, to democracy, to cult, because it's democracy. Yeah,
Right.
Go ahead.
Any which way, eventually there's an overpopulation problem on Cultus, and there's probably a little bit of a political
We got that
thing to
here
do
on
with it.
Earth, too.
So they come up with this plan. They're going to freeze people. They're gonna go and pick up all these people, kidnap them, freeze them instantly, putting like frozen alcohol and glycol into their heart, and freezing them to make sure that they're
Flash freeze.
like a flash freeze, like a cryogenics thing. But once they're frozen, they can't escape from their body, which is apparently something the Thetans could do. And this is the origin of the Thetans here. So what they do is they load up all these space planes, which apparently look exactly like DC-8 planes from like modern times.
Now, he's not making this stuff up, folks. Whenever he says that these space planes from 75 million years ago look exactly like...
These are the words of Ronald Hubbard.
Exactly. That's the thing. These are the words of the guy that started this shit, okay? He's the one that's portraying this as truth, okay? Space planes look exactly like what?
A DC-8 airplane. So the DC-8 was not, I guess, apparently not evolved from like a DC-1, 2, 3 line. They just started with 8 and based it on the old airplanes of the cultist people and Xenu and his guys. Any which way, they fill up this DC-8 space plane with boxes, and this is what Elron says. They put everybody in boxes, and whenever they get here, they basically open up the door, kick out all these billions of frozen people into our volcanoes. Then,
here on Earth.
Here on
so
Earth.
They've came from cultists.
Right, to the planet.
They've been flash
Tegiak.
frozen.
They bring all these people to the planet Tegiak.
Tegiak, that's
which is what they called Earth back in them days.
Now, there's another name for Earth, too. I think it was,
Earth.
what was it?
Terra?
According to the...
Oh, according to Xenu and his...
No, according to, like, the Nibiru conspiracy, they had another name for it,
There's
too.
lots of weird names for Earth. Sol, Terra. Well, Sol's our sun, I guess. Anyway. Where am I at?
You are planet cultist.
Oh, yeah, no, they got here and they started kicking people out by the thousands, millions into our volcanoes, which I guess has something to do with those old Dianetics commercials you'd see in the 80s where it was a big old volcano and it didn't have any kind of clue what Dianetics was other than it's big letters with a volcano. But they kick all these people out the door. They land in the volcanoes, and at that point they kick out all these hydrogen bombs and just blow into all the giant volcanoes of the planet at the time, setting off huge eruptions. What this does is releases all the Thetans from their bodies, and now these Thetans more or less exist on the prison planet
of Earth, or
Earth.
Kachik, what is it called?
Tegiak.
Tegiak, yeah.
And then
I almost said Armand's last name. This is Planet Kachigian here.
Planet Kachigian. But then they pretty much cordon off Earth as a prison planet. So that's kind of a bummer.
Alex Jones believes the same thing.
They were just cordoned off from the rest
No,
of the galaxy?
no, he's got another show called Prison Planet. That's why it's funny.
Oh, does he? Alex Jones
Yeah,
does?
yeah. No, it's a website and everything, prisonplanet.com.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out.
But yeah.
But the long and short of it, that's it. And every human, or I don't know if it's just humans or even animals, but...
You know what I find interesting?
What?
Is that the bombs that they use, the hydrogen bombs. Okay, so he
They'd just been invented at the time.
Yeah, right. So it's the superior weapon at the exact time that he is writing this story. But anyway, it's from 75 million years ago. Don't get me wrong.
It's beautiful, and they had
But it's the
1950s
superior
technology.
weapon, yeah.
America. Don't mind you that apparently these Thetans who inhabited all of our bodies. When you're born,
What a fucker.
When you're born, these Thetans go right into your body. So it could just be one. It could be hundreds of thousands of these little beams
So they're
of
like
light.
they're like spirits.
Spirits, energy beings, non-corporeal souls, whatever you want to call them. They come rushing into your body by the up to thousands of them apparently. And as you go through life as a Scientologist, you can audit them out of your body.
You can audit these Thetans out.
Thetans, not Thetans.
I like Thetan. I like to say Thetan like Teton.
I've been to the Tetons. They're pretty cool.
You ever been to the Thetans?
No, never been to the Thetons. I must have some inside me.
I wanted to talk about another crazy. I guess you'd call it like a rule that they have. It's called disconnect. So disconnect is if you are done with Scientology, you're a Scientologist and
you become a suppressive person, labeled suppressive person, which is the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yeah, but you don't even have to be labeled a suppressive
Pretty
person.
sure you do.
No. So if we're a Scientologist and I'm tired, I'm done with it. I say, okay, I'm getting out of Scientology. I'm going to go fucking move a couple hours, whatever.
Right.
You can't talk to me.
That's not exactly true.
How do you know that?
From my understanding,
Okay,
it's not exactly
that's
true.
not what I came up with. What do you got?
From what I understand, those people have to have gone against the church, and then they will be labeled a suppressive person, and then you have to disconnect.
You have to. No, see, I was under the impression that you couldn't talk to them if they were a Scientologist and they decided they don't believe it, they're out of it.
Well,
and I guess you could be labeled a suppressive person for just not believing.
That's pretty much, they'll give it to anybody. Once you're an SP, they have like little names for all this stuff. Once you're an SP, an MRA, a BUG, whatever.
Yeah, so you're no longer allowed to talk to family, friends. You have to disconnect, and that's literally and it's actually it's not most of the time it's not the person that's leaving Scientology that's not willing to talk to the other people. It's the people that stay in Scientology.
They're not allowed to.
No.
So if you watch that Leah Remini special, I forget what it's called, Dealing with Scientology Bullshit.
Yeah.
Google it.
It was good, though.
There's many people in it. Mike Render, again, the guy we were talking about before, his kids, he brought his kids into Scientology when they were young, and they grew up, went into the Sea Org, and are completely indoctrinated. When he left, they disconnected from him. One of the highest-ranking members, but they are told now that anybody who talks against Scientology, and this is doctrine of Scientology, if you talk against it, you're a criminal. It's impossible that if you are against Scientology that you're not a criminal. There's something criminal you've done before, and they will find it. And there was an interview with Mike Render himself on like ABC, Good Morning America or whatever, and they asked him that exact question, and he's like, "Yeah, I believe that. If anybody who's against us is a criminal, I believe that."
He really?
Yep. And these days, he's woke, if you will.
Yeah.
And he doesn't go along with any of that strange shit.
Oh man, what'd you call it? The Galactic Confederacy?
Yeah, that's what they called it. Cult is another little weird fact. It exists as a planet around the North Star, Polaris. So, yeah, Alpha Ursa Minoris, which is in the Little Dipper.
It's called what? Alpha what?
Alpha Ursa Minoris. Like that's Ursa Major, Ursa Minor. It's right. Ursa Minor. It exists in the Little Dipper. The tip of the Little Dipper is the North Star, and that's where Xenu's at, rotating around that planet.
Really?
A couple hundred light years away.
So, you're familiar with who Anderson Cooper is, right?
Yeah, he was on Channel 1.
Really?
You don't remember? You didn't know that?
No, that was the same guy?
Yeah, he was on the original cast of...
In the Classroom?
Yeah, Channel 1.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of Lisa Ling. She's big time on TV now, too, is Channel 1, or first gen Channel 1.
Lisa Ling?
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
I don't know. You need to look into that someday.
Anyway, so Anderson Cooper, he's like a big investigative report journalist.
Yeah, 60 Minutes or one of those shows. CNBC,
so he did a week-long 5-part investigation critiquing Scientology. And
that guy don't usually pull any punches either.
No, and in return, the church published a 95-page magazine attacking him. So, like, it attacked the attacker. So if you do something against the church...
Dude, what's going to happen to us?
That's what I just said. We're getting sued, and you know this, okay?
I'm afraid they're going to go through my internet history. You look scared of shit.
What the fuck?
Think about it.
Can they do that?
I mean, why not? They'll figure something out. They probably already on it right now.
Note to self: get Brittany to delete the internet history.
Just get off the internet.
Fucking break the internet.
Well, yeah, it's over at that point. Let's talk about the bridge. You know about the bridge to total freedom? I know you do. The bridge is basically how you progress through Scientology.
Is there any way you can put that up for them to see that there's some sort of structure to this? So that, I mean, it's stupid, but there is some sort of structure to this bridge of.
No, I can't. There's so much information in this document. Google the bridge to total freedom, Scientology classification, gradation, and awareness chart of levels and certificates. Basically, it walks you through every level of training to when you finally become clear.
Yeah, so it's just from like pre-clear to clear to operating Thetan level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up, right?
Well, yeah, so let's talk about operating Thetan.
Okay.
Operating Thetan is basically the first level you can, well, not the first, but the first operating Thetan level. It's level 1.
OT1.
Duh, it's
OT1.
the first one because it's 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, after you become clear, which is, from what I understand, you're, again, I hate to use the word woke.
Yeah.
And you're aware of everything. I think maybe you're clear of Thetans or something like that. You can start to finally progress up to the real levels of Scientology. But that's when the real money comes in. They start charging you for all the books and all the training.
Yeah. So I heard that you have to actually buy a pallet of books in order to get the one book that you require for this next level, and then donate the rest of those books on that pallet back to Scientology so that they can be rebought again for the next person that's going to try to be OT8.
You know, you get superpowers with every level of...
Yeah, but most of the levels, we talked about this earlier, most of the levels you don't even know what superpower you're getting because it hasn't been released yet. Ooh.
Well, after OT8, which is the highest one you can get as a corporeal being.
Yeah, as
As a physical entity.
human. Yeah, as somebody that can walk around on this earth, OT8's as high as you can get.
So looking on the actual the Bridge of Total Freedom thing on OT1, you gain the superpower of a fresh, causative, open Thetan viewpoint of the, I guess that's messed universe and other beings. So at that point, you become aware that there's other beings in the universe. As soon as you hit Thetan level 1 and you're able to do, what is it called, where you become outside of your body? What do they call that?
That's like
Externalize.
projections, like astral projections.
Yeah, well,
like
they call it externalization. As soon as you're able to externalize, you've hit open theta level 1, and that's the superpower you get. And the second level, you get the power to, the ability to confront the whole track. I have no fucking clue what this shit
the
means.
whole track.
But mostly they're mind powers, and it just means you've opened up another level of awareness. That you're getting more and more in tune. So whenever you finally hit level 3, though, that's whenever they open up the books to you. They take you to the headquarters. They take you to a deep, 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 through many doors room. They bring out a briefcase. They attach this briefcase to you. And I'm not talking, like, I listened to Lee or Remini talk about it and a couple other people. They basically strap that fucker to you.
Yeah.
And then they lead you through some more doors and take you to this room and open it up. And they basically sign this contract. You can never, ever discuss what you're getting ready to read, or else you have to pay like $100,000 or something like that. Long story short, they give you a bundle of handwritten L. Ron Hubbard notes that is the story of Xenu that reads like the drunken ramblings of a man in the bathroom at a bar.
Right. Okay. Well, and Leah Remini even says, so like her mom was an OT8, Leah Remini's mom. That's how she got into Scientology.
Right. She's clued in top level.
Exactly. She's like top of it. So she comes down to.
But that doesn't necessarily mean she's highest in the organization.
No. But she's high up there. So she comes with Leah Remini and during this session where she's going to.
Proud of her. She's ready to see her learn the truth.
Yeah, exactly. She wants to be there for that moment when she learns the truth about the religion and shit. And so Leah Remini describes it, when she's figuring this shit out, she's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
I watched an interview with another guy who said basically the same thing, but he's like, is this a test? If I believe this, are you going to kick me out of here? Are you just testing me to see if I believe this because then I'm crazy? Is this an insanity test? It eventually finds out, no, this is what they believe. But the guy was so taken aback by the 75 million years ago thing with Xenu and the Galactic Confederacy. He's like, where the fuck is this coming from? This was to get my head right, to help the planet, and out of nowhere now, you're throwing on this sci-fi mumbo jumbo about, the savage dude from another planet.
What are you supposed to
die
think?
in a volcano with hydrogen bombs.
Yeah, what are you supposed to think? I mean, fuck.
What would you do at that point? You spent years now and a fortune in your quote-unquote religion. You're helping the planet. Everything is hunky-dory. And then you hit level 3. All right, I'm getting the truth. They take you back to a room and lay that shit on you.
If they laid that shit on me, you'll probably never hear from me again because
Even
I'm
as you,
fucking flipping out.
Even the guy who will believe anything.
That's not accurate at all.
Used to be. You used to almost fucking believe any weird little thing
I would
drink
the
Before we
Kool-Aid.
started this show, and you've had to really do your research since then, you would call me up with all kinds of shit you just heard a little video about on.
Right, but I wouldn't think that saying I believe anything would be the right way to describe me.
Well,
because I don't believe anything, and I'm not going to sit here and believe that.
But think about this. Say you'd watched 200 video hours or whatever about this supposed Xenu or whatever, and you slowly got to drink the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean?
No, not going to happen.
You're into Scientology. You believe you're doing good. You don't think ever in any mindset you would fall for that.
No. Gosh,
so
no.
The supposed millions of people, well, there can't be that many OT3s. I wonder how many there are.
I don't know. Well, because they say Scientology says it has 10 million members, but like I said before, people put that number closer to 500,000 members.
You got to figure you're not letting maybe 10% of your members get to the level 3.
You're not even 10%. Come on. They said
there's 50,000 people basically running around buying the story,
doing whatever they want. That's too big of a number. I would say 2% maybe get to that. Because think about
conservative,
it.
Conservative, fine.
Leah Remini said that Tom Cruise has 50 servants around him at all time. People to cut his fingernails, people to wipe his ass.
They had the hunt for his girlfriend. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They basically hired this woman. She didn't know what was going on. They handpicked her out of the Sea Org, I believe. Mm-hmm. They gave her a complete makeover and said she was going to be going to work with Tom Cruise. But within a month, she's living in his house as his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And how that eventually ends, one time Miscavige comes over to visit Tom Cruise. They're real good buddies.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And she's like sick, has a migraine. She can't quite hear him and understand him. She's a national from another country. And he gets angry about it. And he gets all insulted.
Tom or David Miscavige?
David Miscavige. So the next day or whatever, Miscavige tells Tom Cruise about it and is displeased. Tom Cruise comes in, gets right up in her face, and just starts banging his fist on the fucking table. Don't you ever insult him. He's the most important man alive. That type of shit. And within a few days...
Oh, Tom Cruise drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's big time.
Yeah.
Within a few days, she gets a telegram that says, you're being moved out of Tom Cruise's house. You're broken up. You no longer have any kind of contact with him. She still has an apartment apparently on the outside, and a couple of goons from Scientology come to her apartment while her and her mom was there, more or less ransack the place for any photo evidence, letters, anything that could ever tie
Link
her to
them to Tom Cruise,
and just erases her involvement with him more or less.
That's crazy, man.
What else we got that's weird about fucking Scientology?
Oh, so they have a program called Narconon, which is not.
That's huge. That's anti-drugs.
Yeah. Okay. Kirstie Alley actually attributes that to helping her stop cocaine.
Also a Scientologist, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I said. She attributes this program in Scientology to helping her stop cocaine. She was, I guess, a big cocaine addict. Did you know that Scientology only has three main holidays? Number one be L. Ron Hubbard's birthday on March 13th.
Dude, we all party. I mean, I bet they party a lot for that.
Yeah. Number two would be the anniversary of the first publication of Dianetics in May. And number three, the Auditor's Day in September. Auditor's Day, huh?
Yeah, well, I wish I was an auditor.
What are you going to do? Man, this is just... Okay, so Scientologists are all denominational. This was something that I didn't understand about Scientologists, because when they call it a religion, you think that it's... You think, okay, so when I think religion, I think Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Buddhist, Catholic. Those are religions. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, but Scientology is a religion, but you don't think of it like that because it's a all denomination. You can be a Hindu, a Muslim, and still be a Scientologist.
Until you get to level 3, I guess.
Well, this says right here. Hang on, let me find where it was just at here.
Because once you get to level 3, that shit doesn't jive with any other religion. I'm sorry.
Are you sure?
I don't think anywhere in the Bible does it allow for planet fucking not Klaatu, Veratu, Niktu, what's it called, cultists.
Yeah, okay.
And the history of souls being Thetans from another planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not how it works in the Bible. It's not how it works in Buddhism or whatever their little religious texts are.
So they're called all denominational. I mean, a person could be Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, and still be a Scientologist.
Let's talk about that real quick. So, what is it that makes a religion accepted? Is it age? Because Christianity's been around forever.
I want to say no, but gosh, I would be so wrong if I said no. Because age does, in most people's eyes,
think about
don't get me wrong,
Christianity
it
when
doesn't
it
make
first started. You know what happened whenever people started being Christian? The Romans put them up on crucifixes.
Right.
This was a cult. There's this fucking cult leader named Christ running around, and his Christians are spreading out all these things about his God and the way his God does things, not the old God of the Jews and whatnot, the God of Abraham, which I don't know. It's whatever. I'm talking too much about it. I don't know. Where did I go? I got moving and lost.
Yeah, you really screwed the pooch on that one.
Where was I at? Where was I going?
You're gonna ask me?
Wind it back for me. What was I talking about?
You already forgot.
Yeah, I got a bad memory.
I don't know either.
Fuck. Oh, how old the religion is. So Christ made it. He was more or less a cult. So whenever you bring up a new religion, why wouldn't it be a cult? Do you think of Mormons as a cult? Because they started more or less recently as well, with John Smith and his magic underwear and 19 wives.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a religion too. They got the same rights.
Yeah, they
as
believe
any other religion.
their God lives on Kolob.
Is that how
planet
that works?
called Kolob. Yeah, Mormons. Yeah, it's Kolob.
I wonder if
Kolob.
it's any relation to the cultists. Maybe they're in the same star system.
Did you know that Tom Cruise claims Scientology helped him overcome dyslexia?
No.
Yeah, that's a full-on claim.
Did you know that Nicole Kidman, his wife, that he met during Days of Thunder filming, was considered a person who is a probable troublemaker? They have a real term.
But she was a problem. She was a problem for the church.
Potential problem for the church because her dad was a psychologist. So with her maintaining a relationship with her father, that's a problem for the church.
Because Scientology does not believe in or even endorse any sort of psychology or mental health.
Right. So David Miscavige basically, and Mike Rinder to a point, they were given the job of find out what you can about them, drive a wedge between Nicole and Tom, and break that up, and they did.
Well, Scientology is also rooted to be the cause of the divorce between him and Katie Holmes as well. They said that Katie Holmes, during labor, there were Scientologists in the room, and even Tom Cruise saying that you cannot make a noise at all, zero noises, because it will affect how your baby's being brought into this world, and we don't want him to come in hearing you screaming. So, like, she had to...
Like, Suri was like...
Go through labor quiet, like, can't yell and shit.
Nobody does that to the Dawson's old lady.
Yeah, it's just some of the shit these people... I mean, you really got to be into it to drink this fucking Kool-Aid, man. You really do. Yeah,
Pretty
more
much.
on the Sea Org. Okay. Oh, did you know? So David Miscavige, we've talked about a lot. We've talked about him a lot, but we haven't really talked a whole lot about him. One of the things that Leah Remini said, now she was at Tom Cruise's wedding, and this was one of the big major factors. And
She started getting in trouble for?
yeah, it was one of the major factors of her wanting to leave the religion of Scientology. She was at his wedding. I believe it was the Katie
If
Hall.
you hear from their point, it's she started acting unethically.
Yes. Well,
And she was getting ready to be kicked out when she left.
all she did was ask where David Miscavige's wife was during this wedding. Like, hey, where's your wife at?
And
How's
what's the
she
story
doing
then?
today?
Where is she?
Well, she has not been seen in public since 2006. Most say she lives in exile, but a lot of people have come to the conclusion that she's probably been killed. I don't know that to be true either way, but
I
I
don't
know
know.
that
See,
she has
I
not been
feel like-
seen in public since 2006.
I feel like if she was dead, somebody like Mike Rinder, who was way up there right at the top, would know and be able to say something about that. Wish I could get a hold of him and talk to him.
Yeah,
I'd
but
have
you
some
know,
questions.
as the far reach that Scientology has some reach, man. They've already blackmailed the federal fucking government for a tax exempt status. So I don't find it hard to believe that they could actually make that her go away and anything about talking about her go. No, we ain't talking about her. Oh yeah, she's in the house.
They
She's safe.
released all kinds of statements for all that shit. So
Oh, did they?
I think so.
You think so or you know so?
I don't know. Well, another thing I want to talk about, we were talking about how is it a cult, is it a religion, and how people consider Scientology to be super crazy. You know, with all the talk of
Wait, hang on. David Miscavige, I'm back to him. So he's been accused of beating his aides. This guy's a real
enough.
unstable individual, okay? So not only is he's the head of this really crazy religion, but he's an actual, and he's an unstable dude. He's beating up his aides. I've heard he's beat his wife.
He beat up, like I keep using the guy's name, Mike Rinder. He beat the shit out of him a couple times. Everybody who does wrong,
That's the guy that stood there and going, the guy, the head of the church
the
just
Pope
beat the shit
Yeah,
out of me.
The Pope just beat me up.
Yeah, that's right.
There was one guy who had left just after he received a beating from Miscavige. What had happened is Miscavige had beat the shit out of him, right? But as soon as he hit him, he basically looked at Miscavige like, I'm getting ready to fire back on him. And, Miscavige pussies away. And security comes in, and Miscavige says to security or one of the other guys, did you see that? He was actually going to hit me back.
I would have.
Well, no shit, but can you imagine the arrogance? The guy's like, he was going to hit me. Make me bleed my own blood.
Yeah, actually gonna hit me, huh? This is. Whew. So yeah, there's no initiation ritual, and that's good. So like baptism.
Well, yeah, they
or
want your
anything like
money.
that.
Yeah, no. Write a check. That's the initiation.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
That
what's it?
check's got to clear, though.
Trial by fire, but the fire is green.
Okay, like I was saying, though, we were talking about how it's cult versus religion and the craziness behind religions. A lot of people freak out on the story of Scientology, that it's about an alien and he sent all these souls, more or less, to our planet. But if you look at all the other weird religions of the planet, like the Christ myth of him dying and coming back 3 days later,
Well,
or the
if you want to
creation
compare,
myths,
if you want to compare like Christianity to Scientology, the
Garden of Eden,
the waters were parted, a river got parted. Really? Okay,
Well,
so
the Red
guy
Sea got
walks on
parted,
water, water to wine. I mean, there's so many things that you can look at. Like
snake talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
people
sitting here
lived
talking
800 years.
Exactly. We're sitting here talking about, oh, yeah, 75 million years old, and these planes look just like they did in 1950. But at the same time, you really got to look at the other religions that kind of perpetuate these stupid BS myths. And God, this is a real bad show as far as like we're just assholes today.
Well, look at even the Greek myths. I mean, the Greek,
Right.
They're
Yeah,
gods
the mythology,
and goddesses. And
same thing.
Depending on when a religion is found, it's all about what's going on in the culture of the time. So the Greeks, they built it around the things that there was in their everyday life. They had to have a god of the sun, a god of the harvest.
It's a way to explain things that people don't understand. That's what religion. That's in my eyes why this isn't a religion, because a lot of religions
they
seek to help a person out, but to explain things that normally people don't understand.
That's where the Thetans come in. The Thetan, there's the religion of that's how all life started here. It was brought here 75 million years ago. That's our creation myth.
Yeah,
for Scientology,
pretty much.
Not our. I keep saying our.
Yeah.
I am not a Scientologist.
Everett is a Scientologist.
Just for the record, I am not a Scientologist.
Ooh, fun fact.
I don't mind them.
The lady that voiced Bart Simpson,
Nancy Cartwright,
she has donated over $10 million to Scientology.
Bummer.
Right, I know. I like Bart too. I don't know. But so
Did
why
you know the
do,
Grateful Dead went and did some of the Scientology shit back in the day?
really?
Yeah, Jerry Garcia, it just wasn't his thing. Robert Hunter was the one who had talked about it a few times, though. Nobody really liked it. They just said it was, just... What they didn't like about it is you'd have to just sit there for hours and answer questions and stare at another person, and it's just really
Fuck
weird.
that. Well, yeah, and I'm Jerry Garcia. I can imagine him. Mind if I do it, Jay? I mean, can you smoke joints in Scientology? I mean, what? I mean, is that? Do we don't know about that? What is their ask? Well, I guess if they got
They
the
don't do
Narconon
drugs, dude.
program, yeah.
I'm sure they believe in clear mind and all that bullshit.
Right. So why do we call it a cult? Why is there a big comparison between it being a religion? But why does everybody make that jump to cult
Think
for
about
Scientology?
This. Our society is more or less a Christian society. It's
No. You
more
say
or less.
our as in America.
As white men in America in the middle class.
Okay.
Is the only way that me and you think because we're dickheads.
Exactly.
And the majority of middle America where we're from, we are indoctrinated from a young age that Christianity is there's God. Everybody, I swear to God, that's just part of the way we talk.
Yeah, you're right.
Even though we don't really believe in it, we still say I swear to God or God bless you.
Yeah, right. It doesn't matter
It's
that
our
that's
culture.
It doesn't matter that if we're not believing in God or not. That's part of. That's
It's
how
not
we were
weird.
brought up.
It's just we don't believe in it, but we don't think it's weird. It's just something people believe in.
I swear to God.
But Scientology, on the other hand, is not what we were brought up to believe in. It is a whole other story
Right.
that just seems funny because we weren't told to we were 2 years old.
But at the same time, now people that were brought up in Scientology, this stuff is normal to them as Moses parting the Red Sea is to us,
Right.
as
Exactly
a Christian-born
Well, any cult, the Wacko and Waco and all his people,
The Branch Davidians?
the Hell's Gate people thought that Hellbop
Heaven's Gate.
or Heaven's Gate. They thought Hellbop
Hellbop,
was going
yeah.
to take them to heaven. There was a spaceship behind it. They all have beliefs because that's just what they're indoctrinated to believe.
Indoctrination is
You have an indoctrination in one way of thinking, and you look at somebody else's quote unquote strange way of thinking, they're going to look like a cult. Look at these weirdos and what they believe. Well, what we believe is the main religion, is what we base, our train of thought, even though we're not religious at all. That's religion to us.
Yeah. Are the Jedi a cult?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because they indoctrinate the shit out of
Well,
it.
in their universe, no, they're a religion. They have religious status. In the UK, the Jedi have religious status, which is just
Right.
fucking retarded.
Yeah, the Church of Jediism.
Well, you can be Jedi Knight on your tax forms or whatever in England. You can Jedi
real?
Knight, and that's fine.
That's weird.
As big as a Star Wars guy on you, I'm glad you're not like, oh, that's awesome. Because
No, that's just. Now look,
Come on.
there's a.
it's the same thing. You're making a religion out of a movie or a
I know,
book
I know.
or what
It's-
some
or
asshole
some science fiction writing.
who is a generation removed from you came up with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I could see if it was 1,000 generations ago or 100 or 150 generations ago, some guy came up with it, and yeah, okay, now we believe it.
But back to what we were talking about, how children, a child's mind is, we learned this in H4. It's much easier and subject to indoctrination. You can indoctrinate a child way easier than you can an adult.
Sure.
So when you're trying to look for potential Scientologists,
Potential?
potential Scientologist, wouldn't you look for someone that's got a couple kids and try to recruit that person so that you can have
Potentially, I
two
don't know.
future
But they think
Scientologists?
children are an unnecessary burden. That's in their writings too. Like
How is that? Now
whenever
answer me that.
That's
though.
whenever they want children to be taken care of, abortions. It's because they're an unnecessary burden.
Okay, but weren't they
Sea Org
children at
members.
one time?
For
for Sea Org members. Okay, but say everyone
Fair.
was a child at one time. If you want to abort every kid, your Scientology's done in what 40 years?
Fair enough. Yeah.
You can't say children aren't going to be part of this because at one point
I concede.
you have to have kids.
I concede. Jessica on the chat says, "I think all religions are strange." Yeah, well,
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, my religion's fine, but whatever. I follow my own religion. It's kind of like Scientology, really.
Yeah.
I don't have no kind of aliens that created me, but I do like to use my head to work through my problems, try to make the world better. At least one of the things that I can do.
Yeah.
I don't try to make it worse. And that's what I kind of liked about Scientology until you hit to level 3. And if you're just some dumb bastard who follows Scientology, it's actually not that bad. I want to help the world. I want to make myself better.
Right. So at first glance, on the cover, the
like
surface
communism.
the surface of Scientology doesn't seem so bad.
It's like communism. Oh, everybody works together for the common good of mankind. Everybody gets the same thing.
Everybody eats, no one starves. That's good.
But in reality, you got assholes at the top who don't run it like it should be ran.
right.
And people, they get fucked. Long and short of it, some people are going to benefit. Some people got to be the trash on the bottom to get stepped on.
Yeah.
That's it. Show over.
We're done.
That's it.
Have you ever seen those new memes on the prequel meme thing that's like at the very bottom?
Go right
it's
into
like,
Star Wars?
Yeah, it written and directed by George Lucas. You know, it's like, I see through the lies of the Jedi. Oh, you do? Shit. And then movie over, written and directed by George Lucas. It's just like a new way they're doing memes on that thing. It's pretty funny.
Way off topic.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Out of nowhere. Anyway, what else you got on Scientology? That's
Jay, Homegrown Hicks with the reference award for that H4 comment. What else I got on Scientology? I don't know, man. It's very nuts, though, dude.
I'd like to encourage people to watch that Leader Enemy special. It's only about 8 hours long. Watch Getting Clear. What's it called?
It was Getting Clear.
Yeah, it's an HBO special. You can find it on HBO Go or HBO Now.
For those who don't know who Leah Remini is, if you've ever watched King of Queens, she's the very attractive wife of Kevin James. And
very attractive. She's okay.
I mean,
she's okay.
Tomato.
She's a bitch. I hate her in that show.
Well,
My wife thinks
okay,
I'm Kevin James for one, though. So she thinks Kevin James and me are almost exactly the same. I don't get that.
You don't work at UPS.
I'm not an idiot.
Well,
I mean, that helps too.
Like I said, you don't work at a UPS. So.
Yeah, that's all I got on Scientology, though. Do your research into it if you want. Read some shit. I don't, but
read some shit. I don't. You plan on doing some research? I don't.
No, I read a whole bunch on this one.
Yeah, man.
Next week, it looks like we're going to be doing the Black Sites show on hidden bases like Area 51 and all kinds of other crazy places you never heard of or were supposed to hear of.
Underneath the Denver airport's supposed to be cool. You know what we need to do a show on? We need to do a show on like, wait, what? Fuck, I just had it. We need to do a show. Walmart's, the underground the
Scott
tunnels.
from the group, he said he's never seen him. He works for Walmart as a trucker.
As a trucker for Walmart. And he's never never seen him?
He's looked, he said. He's never seen him.
There's that one video of that Walmart trucker that said he's been underground for like 6 hours. He's went like 400 miles underground and only to come up at another Walmart.
I was talking to Amber about that the other day. Wouldn't it be cool if there was tunnels like that?
Fuck yeah, that would be cool.
They could put like screens on the sides of the tunnels and you could just have fake scenery and you're underground.
Yeah, you could just think, that's probably like the elite's plan for the apocalypse.
So this topic next week was actually chosen by the members of our group. We've got a big poll on there, like we were saying last week and the week before. We're allowing you, our listeners, to join our group, vote in the poll for what the next show you want to do, and by a long margin, this was next week's show.
Yes, but we love the activity in the group lately. The group's just been
blowing up,
fantastic,
blowing up. Let's see what the other stuff that the group voted on here. So the number 2 is the death of Alyssa Lamb. It had something like 40 less votes. So
then the secret bases,
right? Can a government control weather was another one. Weird Hollywood deaths. Nostradamus, missing 411, or missing information. David Polides. I don't have to look into that. 4 people voted for that. I put in there marijuana redux, and you and who was it here? Blizz both voted for a marijuana redux. I guess to be funny. I thought it was a good joke, but I got rid of it.
I thought a good one was what happened to white dog poop.
Yeah, we're gonna figure that one out. Apparently, it's
something that they don't put in the food anymore.
It's the bone meal they used to use as a filler.
Yeah, they don't put that in the food.
Maybe even said that before. But join the group, Facebook.com/group/Surreal Talk group. Every Monday, I'll put a new poll up. It'll be the top of the group. Cast your vote. Put in your own thing if it's not there already. And if it's on top,
polling option.
That'll be the next show we do. Next thing's next, Patreon. So we didn't talk about it much last week. We gave you the URL, Patreon. That's patreon.com/Surreal Talk. What Patreon basically is a voluntary subscription service. Crowdfunding, exactly. Since Eric doesn't make anything from this show, and he's really crying about it all the time.
Now look,
he's got to work every
seem
weekend.
like
he's a money grubbing bitch.
That's not the case.
He comes to me. He's like, "Hey man, I heard about Patreon and all this stuff other people are doing." And it definitely has nothing to do with the network wanting to try to kind of monetize a little until we can get on ad network when we get a little bigger. Long story short, go to that web address, patreon.com/Surreal Talk, and you can subscribe or pledge to our show on a monthly basis from $1 to $50 or whatever, and it'll help us out. We're not really giving too many rewards like you normally get on Patreon.
The thing is, though, the rewards that other people give out on Patreon are stuff that we already do. Like, they give out access to live chat during the shows, and we already have that.
Access to a Facebook group where you get to interact.
With the...
We thought of all this well
that.
before Patreon.
Yeah, like, we didn't even know that was going to be a thing,
So if you want to help us out, give us a couple bucks. That'd be cool. If not,
you don't have to.
Listen,
I mean, it is what it is. We're going to keep doing it regardless. But yeah, It'll make it to where I can take Saturdays off though, and whenever I work on a Saturday and then have to come do the podcast, it just suffers.
Is that the problem?
That's the problem.
I know you do a lot of research on Saturdays, so
I
give
do
you
like
shit about
Saturdays,
that.
but if I didn't have to work Saturdays, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah. All right, enough shilling for Patreon and money and getting rich off this.
Why don't batteries last that long anymore?
I don't know. They do last. They last longer than ever, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
If you buy cheap batteries, they don't.
You talking about cell phone batteries or AA's?
Holy sheep shit. Hold on. Stop the presses.
Hold the phone.
Remember earlier when I was giving you shit about you're losing in the poll?
Yeah.
And how my E is bigger than your E?
Yeah.
You're winning 104, 103.
104 to 103, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so go to www.surrealtalkpodcast.com. Vote in the poll. Vote Team Eric. I'm ahead by one.
Team Eric if you're an asshole. Team Everett if you enjoy forward progress. Make America great again. I'm not talking Trump style. I'm not a Trumper, but I still believe in Make America Great. Not by any effort of mine.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Go out there and make America great, people.
But just do it on your own.
Yeah, don't try to involve
Don't
me.
bother me with it.
Yep.
Don't try to make me great.
Let's I guess let's end the show.
Yeah.
This didn't last near as long as I thought it would.
No, I didn't think. I thought it would last a lot longer than it did as well.
There's not a lot to the story of a crazy man who invents a religion, gets a whole bunch of sheep.
I mean, it's like, how much can we shit on this is the thing. It's like,
I don't wanna
do we
just sit
want to
and
do an
shit.
hour and a half of shitting on Scientology, or do we want to
Yes.
shit on it for 2 hours? You know what I mean?
Pretty much. We didn't even get an hour.
But for those that don't know, if we might need some Patreon help, because we're probably going to get fucking sued by Scientology for this
I don't think they're going to
episode.
sue us. We did nothing that's a lie.
You're right, but we've totally just trashed them.
Well,
For
if that
an
happens,
hour and a half, we've
we'll
trashed
end the show.
Scientology.
We'll come up with a new show.
Surreal with 2 L's instead of 2 R's. 2 R's and 2 L's.
No, we're not going to misspell anything because
Oh,
we're
okay.
not dickheads.
Oh, all right.
We'll probably call it
E squared.
Surreal Time.
E squared.
How about Surreal Time?
E squared.
No.
E times 2.
No.
No?
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on the live stream today.
Squirrel Talk.
Thanks for not Squirrel Talk. Thanks for listening on the podcast. Hopefully, we got it released on Monday. Last week, I accidentally released on Tuesday. That may or may have not been my fault for not reminding Brian to do it, editing it on Monday. I was real busy. Yada yada yada. I'll try to get it out to not tomorrow, Monday. And if it's not good for you, I'm sorry. You got anything else, CT?
Yeah. No,
What?
no.
No, that's
it. Just thought I was typing in the chat and typed it in the thing. Nope, that's it. That'll do.
All right. Catch you all next week. Later.
You let me know when we're clear on the podcast.
All right. It'll be just a second. Butthead and butthead. That's pretty fair. Shut up, Scott. Scott's a dick. Clear on the podcast. Still on YouTube.
Scott Seeger says, I thought it would last longer. I'm going to put, that's what your wife said.
Oh, shit. Take that, Scott.
You know, like premature ejaculation joke.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh. And, wow, there's a lot of TWSS from Eric. What's TWSS?
I don't know. That's what your wife said? That's what
No.
she said. That's what she said. TWSS?
That's what she said.
I love that's what she said. I hope that's not a bad thing. You ever watch The Office? You never got into that, did you?
Not really.
Michael Scott used to say that in The Office all the time. That's a funny show. Funny show. Funny how?
David Lawrence says more paranormal stuff.
Hey, Dave, go into the group, man, and vote on it. We don't get a pick anymore. We don't.
Yeah, you're right. We don't get to pick. It's up to you guys to pick
Right.
the topic.
I mean, it's pretty much what you guys want. If you want paranormal, pick it. 50 people basically wanted us to talk about the black sites next week, so that's what we're talking about.
Black sites, huh? I don't like that name. I think secret bases sounds better.
Secret bases and black sites. We'll come up with a way. Package it. What else we got going on? Anybody else got anything cool going on in the group and out on chat land?
Anybody going to go visit any paranormal or conspiratorial sites? Anything interesting? No, nothing. Probably not.
My face is blue.
I'm wearing a slight V-neck today. That's unusual for me. I
Oh,
don't
you look like
normally do
Daniel
that.
Tosh.
Huh?
You look like Daniel Tosh.
Well, no,
it's not that deep.
He does the deep V. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not a deep V. It's just a V.
It's just a V.
Is that it though? We done?
Yeah,
What
we're
do we
pretty
got?
much out of here. Anybody got anything going on in chat they want to talk about? I just asked a minute ago. Now you're just saying, fuck them. We're done. We're done.
No, I mean I can still talk. I'm just not hearing The only person I hear through those is you, so I don't have to be done to take those off. I can hear
Someone
you
might
from right
better
here.
get to researching on the black site shit. Definitely. But I got a lot of shit I'm working on too. I got a whole job that I do during the week.
I don't believe that.
I'm just trying to say like you. I don't get paid to do this.
I don't
got a
think
job
Scott
to
gets
do.
what we're trying to do here. I'm saying.
I want
It's
that to be
gonna
our
a new
next
poll every
t-shirt.
week. Yes, Jess, there will be a new poll every week. We can see.
Yeah, I wish there wasn't. I wish YouTube would or Facebook would allow me to just delete whatever won last time, and the number 2 would still be on top, and everybody who had voted for number 1 would just revote. But no, that's not the way it works. You can see my nips.
No, he's talking about mine.
Oh, it's 'cause it's white. You were getting sexually harassed.
Yeah, it was. No,
Jess, sorry about your shirt. It's sitting on it's hanging on a hanger on a nail in my office.
Jess. Worthless.
I just keep forgetting to bring it home. I meant to do it this
about
Thursday.
Seegers' shirt?
Last Thursday. Seegers' got his. Should
Did you
have.
get his?
I believe so.
Did you get information from him on like an address?
Fuck, maybe I didn't. Seegers, did I send you a shirt?
I don't think you did, and at all. How about that
Oh,
weird
shit.
animal thing that was in the water?
Sorry, dude. I got you. I got you.
See, I know you're saying Eric Scott, and I promised you a shirt, but this is Everett's. Like that's his responsibility. Like as far as like to send the shirts out, like to put them in the mail, that's him. So
Yeah, well.
you can change that to Everett.
I'm
Where's my shirt?
very slow
Everett.
on doing stuff like that. It took 3 weeks to get Dabney his. I mean,
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is great. Oh well, that's good to know.
you've never seen the first one, have you?
I have, but I didn't get very into it.
Oh, man, it was great.
It was good.
It's great.
You can get a lot into it. I don't understand a lot about Groot. So is he like
Groot's just a tree creature.
okay? Yeah, but okay. So like, if he dies, does he remember?
Watch till the end of the movie.
Because he's just like, I am Groot.
What would you know if you remembered or not? Hey, do you remember that Groot? And you know what his response would be?
I am Groot.
Exactly.
Right.
So what does it matter?
It's just weird.
There's Baby Groot in part 2.
Baby Groot?
Yeah.
Oh.
But which is original Groot. He's just small now. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
I feel neglected.
You are kind of neglected. That's what we do with people. We just neglect them. We're neglectors.
Nah, speak for yourself. I neglect no one except for my personal hygiene.
Gross.
Let's call it a day, man.
Yeah, with that, I'm cutting it off. We'll catch you guys next week. See you in the group. If you need anything, get a hold of Eric. He'll take care
Oh,
of
is that right? Yeah, hit me up at info@surrealtalkpodcast.com. Emails, reviews. Yeah, we love all that stuff. Keep the reviews coming. Oh yeah, shit, we should have put that in the podcast. Yeah, well.
Oh, well.
He doesn't. She says he doesn't even have to mail mine.
I know. Literally, I just have to hand it off.
But keep the reviews coming. Vote in the poll. Team Eric.
Team Everett. Catch you all next time. See ya.
Yes, thanks.
Go ahead.
The show's over. What are you guys doing here? You're supposed to go home.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, go do
We
something.
ended the stream.
It's over.
We checked and you're still here.
Yeah.
We started it back up.
We ended it, and now you're still here.
It's over. It's over. We'll see you next time.
Peace.